What is up, guys? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Lach.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at UFC 271, where Israel Adesanya looks to defend his belt against the very man he took it from, Robert Whittaker. It's a rematch 2 years in the making. What do you think, Jeff?
I think this matchup is going to play out a little different, but I think the result's going to be the same.
Okay,
you know, as much as I like Robert Whittaker, it's just there's too much ground to cover. Even if his game plan is to incorporate something he didn't incorporate in the first match, like if he tries to incorporate maybe some takedowns or something. I mean, the 7 inch reach advantage is kind of a lot of ground to cover, and not only that, Izzy is good at preventing the takedown. So it's like it's kind of a bad situation to be in. I think if he stands, he also has a lot of ground to cover too. I do think Robert Whittaker has improved, but I don't know. It's just tricky to figure out like what kind of game plan he has that's gonna provide him success for this fight. So I don't know. I think Izzy's gonna kind of be almost the same. I think he's probably gonna look for the counter punches because it was successful the first time. Yeah, I mean that's how I see it playing out. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think in the first fight, Israel Adesanya, he finished Robert Whittaker, but Robert Whittaker started off very aggressively. He wanted to get in his face, jump into range basically and try to make it a firefight, and ended up really not going his way. It really costed him the fight. I think he thought that the Kelvin Gastelum fight was like kind of like the blueprint of that, but I don't think he was correct, and I think a big thing to look about. I think a bit.
I mean, even Kelvin Gastelum got cracked like 5 times, bro. Doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Gastelum is he'd probably be more durable. I think. Yeah, he's one of the more durable guys in the UFC, let alone the division. Whittaker has been cracked by multiple people. I think. He was a welterweight initially, and he moved up, but I just think a big important factor is how Robert Whittaker has said how he's changed his training from the first fight, which is he's not really game planning. I think a lot of people think he's gonna go out there and wrestle and just try to grind that out, but I don't think that's the case. From his training, we've seen that he's just sharpening his tools. He's adding a little more, and he's basically getting better in everything he was already pretty good at. And making sure this fight he's not gonna like jump in and do some dumb like that again. And I think that's important because I think that shows. I don't think he's gonna wrestle. I think he might mix it up, but I don't think he's gonna be like Derek Brunson 2.0. Yeah, and, try to go for the takedown every time. But I think the issue with that is that I do think if he does make that style change, I think he will not get finished. I don't see him getting finished if he's not that aggressive. But if he just tries to strike with Adesanya, and just strike like normally, like whether, but I don't think he'll be able to get into range without getting hurt or without taking the brunt of the damage. Yeah. So I think it's Adesanya's game to lose, and he's done it forever. He was a kickboxer. Kickboxing is like the definition of fighting at range. So yeah, and he's freaking huge, 6'4", 80-inch reach, bro. That's like. He's like the John Jones of this, division with that range, with that length. So I don't see Whittaker leaving unscathed, but I don't think he gets finished. He got. If you look at both times, the time he got dropped at the end of the first and the finish, it was that I think it was a left hook, but it was because he was just standing in there because he tried to jump into range, and that could happen too because obviously being at the disadvantage of the of reach, you have to get into range to land your shots. But if he's, I think he'll be way more careful now. But I don't see him out striking Israel. I don't see him taking him down. I feel like he's not that strong of a fighter. I think Vettori took him down, but barely. He was not able to hold him down. And Vettori's super strong. Yeah. And I think he's a stronger wrestler than Robert Whittaker probably is. And so I think Adesanya wins by decision. I don't think he finishes Whittaker. I think it'd be very impressive if he does again. But I think it's gonna be kind of like when Holloway lost to Volkanovski the first time, where where Robert Whittaker is max in that case, where he loses every round, but not like crazy, where he's getting dropped every round and stuff like that. But he loses almost like every round, which makes me sad because I liked Whittaker's reign as champion. I thought it was fun. He had a whole bunch of wars, and he just overall seems like a nice guy to root for. But I think Adesanya will. I think he'll put his stamp on this rivalry, and I think he'll be 2-0 and remain the champion, and still by decision.
True. I mean, that's interesting because I think if it does go to decision, I think it's gonna be a very like suspect round.
But if they're close rounds, would that be because they're both like?
No.
I don't think it's. Yeah, I think it's going to be more lack of activity.
Yeah. If it goes to decision, I mean, that's the way it plays out in my head. You know, like not a lot of action and stuff, maybe minimal, output. But I don't think it's gonna go that way. I think Robert Whittaker. I mean, he's always been more aggressive than Adesanya. I feel like Adesanya is not really the one to initiate as much. So I actually think he finishes him again, but I don't think it's gonna be as early as he did the first time because I think he's gonna make the necessary improvements. I think he's gonna land more shots, but only one guy has finished Izzy. You know what I mean? And it's not him.
That's true.
So I mean, I see Izzy getting the TKO probably in the later rounds, like 4 or 5.
Especially if Robert goes down big early, he might get desperate,
Yeah,
because you got to keep in mind with close decisions. Usually the judges give it the benefit of doubt to the champion. So he has to be convincing, or otherwise he's probably not gonna win, And Adesanya's last fights, they've been kind of slow pace, slow burners, and if it's anything like that, Adesanya will cruise to an easy decision win. And I think it's gonna be similar to the Romero fight, I think, but a little more action because I think Whittaker's gonna press press
forward.
Yeah, press a lot more than Romero did, I think, because Romero was a counterpuncher. Robert not so much. He can be the one to lead the dance, and he's going to, because Adesanya is a counterpuncher as well. That's why those fights have been pretty much boring because he's waiting and then his opponent's waiting. Yeah. So nothing ever happens. But I think this is a good matchup for Adesanya. I just think he's gonna have Robert Whittaker's number. Yeah, those were our thoughts. Or you haven't said?
Nah.
Okay, sorry. And then that was our thoughts on this fight, on the main event. We got the last Stylebender versus the Reaper. Let us know down below what you think. Do you think Robert Whittaker gets his belt back, or do you think Adesanya puts his stamp on this and proves himself to be one of the best middleweights to ever do it? But go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed. Go ahead and subscribe. We put out videos for almost every fight night, and oh boy, we're in for a ride because after this you got fight night, and then the pay-per-view. It's going to be a good, a whole month straight of just fights. So don't forget to subscribe, tune in, turn on the bell, fuck it. And so, yeah. All right, then. Don't forget to tune in. It's going to be a great night of fights, I think. And so, yeah, we'll see you after.
See ya.